Good morning, friends. Today I am in Oxford for very beautiful Ukrainian poetry events. I think Oxford is very suitable place for cultural event. You can hear some classic music on the background right now. You can imagine on this street 500 years ago used to walk the famous English writer William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare used to stop in Oxford on his way from London to his hometown. He used to stay in such kind of little hotel. In England they called inn, and even became friend with owner of the hotel. Here is one of the oldest church of Oxford, St. Michael's Church in Northern Gate. And Shakespeare baptized the son of the inn owner in this church. You can imagine probably they became close friends during his stay in Oxford. Very often you can hear classic music on this piano. Many students play and hear a lot of different classic music concerts going on. So this is what I know from British literature and from local history. But we are on our way to the old Oxford Library. There are Ukrainian poet event going to be in 5 minutes. If you know any Ukrainian writer or poet, let me know in comments. It's very interesting to understand what you know about Ukrainian culture. By the way, here nearby is the Institute of Archaeology. This meeting take part in Taylor Institution. There is the old library just nearby Ashmolean Museum, one of the oldest museum in the world. So on the entrance, this is Mariana. On the entrance, Mariana greeting guest to Ukrainian events. Where are you from?
I'm from Chernobyl, in Western Ukraine.
Western Ukraine. Yeah, this is very cultural town. I think I visit it. It's very interesting. I hope, guys, you will visit it after the war.
Yes, it's very pretty as well.
Yeah.
And the food is excellent.
Yeah, I try. There is also like
Yes, the lake just in the center of the city. The lake is excellent. And we
Yeah.
also have beaches around
fantastic. So you study here in Oxford
Yes.
University.
Yes.
What subject?
law.
Yeah, very important, I think.
Yes,
for us.
all subjects are important, but law is the best one.
So on this meeting, on this event, you also support children.
We support children. So, for example, through our arts exhibition, we will send pictures, paintings drawn by the attendees of this event to the children who drew the artworks. So, even if you would like to draw any picture, you can draw it here. And
Yeah, I like watch it.
For refugees in different. That was the picture taken towards the end of that day. I went to some schools and we met.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It was very interesting. It was very interesting about your opinion, about your travel to Ukraine, Ukrainian teenagers who support actively Ukraine. Actually, this is a Ukrainian poetry event, and I ask people what Ukrainian poet or writer you know.
Well,
I guess as an Englishman, you don't know many. You don't know many Ukrainian writers normally. And my first probably, I don't know. I read some stuff that was pre-war even, or post, just post-war. This is a long time ago. So when I went to the poetry club to learn. So we have this Oxford University Ukrainian Society organized a poetry club, and I've kind of learned. So
Yeah,
that's how I
I
came
know
to know
that
about
yeah, Ukrainian
some more.
University Society, they organize a poetry club
Yeah,
where Ukrainian and British people can learn Ukrainian poetry. And there are the students who present Ukrainian poetry. Yeah.
yeah. We read them. We read them in Ukrainian and we read them in English. But we mainly read them in Ukrainian, and there's an translation, and then we try and discuss them a little bit. But it's very interesting because I get introduced to different poets from this, and
Uh-huh.
but we also some of these
So
poets.
everybody can join it. How?
Yeah, it's not just it's mainly for the students, but some people who are really interested. But we learned about some famous contemporary poets and one or two classics. Um,
It's very interesting for me because I like poems in my school. So probably I will join one day.
Dasha was one of the first people to say that when she was learning poetry in school, it wasn't very interesting. But the times have changed, that people are writing poetry and putting it on the internet. And obviously, there's some elements of this poetry which is about the war. And some younger people are enjoying the link between poetry and music, like
Yeah.
Zerdan was singing some
Yeah.
of his poems with his
Shadan
group.
is a modern Ukrainian
Yeah.
poet from Kharkiv.
But I found it interesting because say Oksana Maximchuk has actually written her first collection in English because she's bilingual, and then Kianovsky hasn't, I don't think, published the poem that I read, which is very moving but also a very angry poem about what Russia has done to Ukraine. And I
So
think
you know a lot of modern poets. I do not know them
yeah.
actually.
Well, we're learning, but we're also meeting these people. Kianovska was here, Maximchuk was here. I met them both. I have some contact with them.
So this is really great that there is some poem exchange or cultural exchange here
Yeah.
in Oxford between Ukrainian and British, so we can understand each other
And
better.
as I said, I helped Ukrainians write their own stories about the war. But one of the poems I read was a translation of a poem written by my friend Marina, who's a Ukrainian girl, and wrote her war poem when she was 14. And it was so good, I felt inspired to
Yeah.
try and write a good English, a serious English translation of his
Yeah, this
poem.
is I really like. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I
No,
hope
but this is so much Ukrainian talent, and whether you read it in Ukrainian or you understand it in English, I'm sure it's very stimulating, interesting, and often inspiring. Not always sad, but often inspiring.
Yeah, I really like that Ulana Suprun, she presented journal translation of Ukrainian poems and some books in English, so people can know about Ukrainian literature nowadays.
I think a lot of people just read terrible news at the moment,
Yeah,
and what's really important
that
is
is why
is
we
to
would
remember.
like to tell something
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah, well, it's not just positive, but just to see a more rounded view of Ukrainians as
Yeah, how
uh,
Ukrainian live actually.
educated, talented, interesting individuals, real human beings with
Yeah,
many interesting stories to tell,
how
not
Ukrainians
just about the
survive
war.
there.
One of my favorite stories I wrote was really taking a guy fishing who's from Donetsk, and it's about a very successful fishing trip, but it's also set in the context of this war and all the friends and people he's lost in Donetsk who used to love fishing but who are dead now. And so it sounds like a sad story,
He
but
remember.
most of the story is very happy, and it's about him learning to fish for trout in the British technique, fly fishing,
Ah,
and catch it with the two of us caught a ridiculous
so
number
he
of
now
trout.
in Great Britain.
Yeah, and we put them. We have to put most of them back, which of course in in Donetsk would not happen. They would keep them and cook them
Yeah,
and
but
smoke them.
he fishing here or not?
Well, he's fishing with me. I was showing him how to fish.
Because I understand here in Great Britain you need to pay for fishing.
Yeah, but don't worry, we can organise this. But what I'm trying to say is, it was a great and very positive story. But of course, the connections are with tragedy as well. But the story itself was a happy one.
Yeah, this is great because I remember a man, Ukrainian man, who complained that he he missed fishing and his village and house.
You,
But this is great.
you know, I wrote another story about this, because soldiers often fished, and soldiers love fishing stories. So if you're sat on the front line in your trench or bunker and you have a break and you've nothing to do, then reading about some strange English guy fishing with the Ukrainian is like a really cool thing to read about. It's not so depressing, and I realized that when I shared it with some soldiers. I'm going to sort of wrap this up a little bit. I just wanted to say it's
Holding the two at the same time. It's called Red Skies. Molten night, red billows to the young girl's window. Shocked, stone still, she watches the neighbouring block ablaze, razed to rubble, dust curdling red on faces. Her world outside under, bunker blackout evening, subterranean school birthday in the sun.
So here is one of the young poets, Francesca, who presented Ukrainian poems, and she actually win the competition. You get this picture from Ukrainian community.
Yeah, so I've been a member of Ukrainian Poetry Club. I had a Ukrainian grandfather, but he never spoke the language when he was alive. So I feel like I've been
Where he is? He came here during the Second World War.
in the 1950s. So after surviving the Holodomor and being a forced labourer in Nazi Germany, he then, in a displaced persons camp, came to the UK and found himself in the north of England, which is where I'm from. So I've been on this
So
journey.
in such way, many people escape from USSR when they were in Germany, and Americans actually liberated Germany. So many people had opportunity to go to the Western countries.
Yeah.
But many people also came back. So a lot of have choice.
Yes, that's right. And he was just placed in the UK. So I've been on this journey of learning the Ukrainian language, the culture, and there was an exhibition today that was about art done by displaced Ukrainian children, and so I was inspired by how the children painted not only the horrors of war, but scenes of hope and optimism. And this poem won this award at this event.
Yeah, this is really great. Where did you study Ukrainians?
So I studied Ukrainian in my final year at Cambridge University, and then I did a couple of language classes in London with the Speak Ukrainian Language School, and then I've attended every session of Ukrainian Poetry Club here.
Really great. Did you speak Ukrainian in family?
No, not at all. So
Just your grandfather know Ukrainian.
yeah, and he just didn't speak about his time in Ukraine, or he didn't, teach his children or grandchildren Ukrainian. So but I think that's a huge loss for, personal history.
But this is really great that you came back to Ukrainian topic, that you come back to Ukraine.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the journey. It's a lovely, beautiful language, beautiful literature, and in a time like this, I think it's quite essential to learn
this is really
poetry.
great, like connection, Ukrainian, Great Britain, and my channel actually about this.
Great,
About the connection.
Yeah, no, the connection.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to present you Olga from Romania, who is volunteering for Ukraine, and she helped two Ukrainian children, as I understand. Here are artworks of Ukrainian children. So, what this artwork about? They were painted by Ukrainian children from different regions, as I understand.
Yes, all the paintings are made by Ukrainian children that are internally displaced, that have a father that is in the war as a military man, or sadly some of them have fathers that died.
Understand.
These are all made in art therapy sessions that are helping the children socialize and also to deal with the trauma that they are going through.
So you make here a little exhibition for show people how the life of Ukrainian children, or what's the idea of this project?
Yes, to show what the children are going through. And there are different themes. For example, this one is of a child that is in the bomb shelters, because some of the art therapy sessions happen in the bomb shelters.
Here, victory, перемога, yeah. But he is in bomb shelter, but he believes in victory.
Yes.
That's great.
The girl is thinking that she will celebrate victory in a bomb shelter, and this is what she is imagining. Others are, this one is from a child that is originally from Tokmak, which is now temporarily occupied. This one
But she replaced. She replaced from that.
Yes, she is now in Lviv, but she originally is from Tokmak, which is temporarily occupied.
Oh, I think they miss their home.
Yes, they miss their home and their pets and their
Yeah.
life. This is a headhunter drawn by a boy who is originally from Mariupol, another temporarily occupied city. And his father was one of the Azovstal defenders. Here on this side we have war crimes, like Alexander Zmatrievsky's execution by Russian occupiers. And this is another execution that happened in real life, and the children know about this. They are teenagers and they deal with this by drawing. Also drawing things.
So thank you very much. It is, I think, really useful to see how Ukrainians people are feeling, and I really like the idea that children believe in victory, and I hope that they will come back home after the war, and all our towns and cities will be restored to the life. Thank you very much. So friends, this is the end of the meeting, and on this meeting Ulana Suprun, the former Minister of Medical Department, she presented her journal, The Black Sea Whales. Here actually the story, the poems and writing of Ukrainian writer translated in English. Yes, so here is Ulana Suprun. She was one of the presenters on the meeting. So please, can you tell about your project, the English journal of Ukrainian writer poems? It's, I think, really great that you found it and the work can you Ukrainian poets, Ukrainian culture.
The Black Sea Whale is the UK's leading magazine on Ukrainian literature and art. The site is blackseawhale.com, and on the site you can find a lot more information about the journal itself, its ideas and stories from Ukraine, its Ukrainian authors that have been translated into English, and all of the stories are beautifully illustrated by Ukrainian artists. The booksellers where you can buy the Black Sea Whale are listed on the site, and you can even get them on Amazon. So it's kind of a bookazine because each of the stories is a long read. It's about 2,000 or 3,000 words, and it's a deep dive into a certain subject. So I hope that you enjoy the Black Sea Whale, blackseawhale.com, and the booksellers are listed right on the site.
Thank you very much. And I write in the description your website as well. So it's really great and useful, I think, for people over the. So I am already on my way home on my bicycle, just in front of this lovely English cows. Thank you for joining this event today. For me, it was really great event surrounded by beautiful people. The main thing that they bring light, they bring culture, even in the dark of the war. We always should to remember that no matter how dark everything around, you should to be light in the darkness.